Hey everybody, Son of Beast and Roy Cruz are back. It's another game of the night here of the NHL on EA Sports. The next matchup, as we go right to the north, to the east, it goes with the next Eastern versus the Western Conference. Tonight's matchup, as we spot things from the start, we now know that this might be one of the favorites after the loss for Minnesota Wilds on the away against the Philadelphia Flyers. But therefore, they're back on the road and they are facing against the Columbus Blue Jackets in Ohio at the Buckeye Stadium. Therefore now, as we're being said, here are the starting goaltenders. As for Philip Gustafsson is the starting goaltender for the Wilds. And for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Elvis Merzlikins is the starting goaltender for the Blue Jackets. And with the starting of the players, here's how they look like for Minnesota Wilds. Starting off from here, as we are looking off, is a start for Quinn Hughes, transfer from Vancouver. He now has shown it up with the elite edges and a second win with only the send-it pass with the breakout passes. Kirill Kaprizov only has the wheels with the quick release. Matthew Boldy with only the quick release and the pressure. And Matt Zuccarello with the send-it pass and the tape-to-tape zones. Jonas Brodin with the wheels and the stick him up. He only has making it really well to make the playable and only quick pick. Brock Faber with Illy Edges in the second win with the tape-to-tape zones. Then it's Joel Eriksson Ek with no contest and warrior. Then it's Jared Spurgeon, who has the stick him up and quick picks. Then it's Jacob Middleton with only the stick him up and the quick pick too. Then it's Marcus Foligno with only True Lenses in the warrior. Then it's Vladimir Tarasenko, that's the only quick pick to have the release. And a final player from the Wilds, Yakov Trenin. True Lenses, it's destructive shoulder checks. Now let's go over to Columbus Blue Jackets. As we start, the goaltender is for Merzlikins, but here are the players. Zach Werenski has only given a pressure on the tee to have something that's built up to make the momentum with the send it and the tape to tape. With Kirill Marchenko, he only has the quick release and unstoppable force. Then Sean Monahan with the tape to tape zones. Dmitry Voronkov with the big twig and the spark plug. Kent Johnson, ankle breaker, only does this when he looks at Deeks. Then Adam Fantilli with the quick release and no contest zones. Then it's Mason Marchman from Dallas Stars, has True Lensless and spark plug. Then it's Bone Jenner from the Born Leader. And Miles Wood from the Colorado Avs makes the wheels lightning fast to speed the skate. Now that is it for the starting lineups. It's time to get to Buckeye. My next commentary partner I have is Tyler Beast. He's also along with Sidewalkie, and the third in center box is Craig. I'll be joining us back here for the first intermission, second intermission, and a post-game show. But now, the wait is already over. Time to see what the next game goes in. Wilds, Jackets, coming up next on EA Sports. The Buckeye is the place to be. Hi everybody, I am Tyler Beast, and I am here, my broadcast partner with Sidewalk and Craig in center ice. It's the home of the fifth line, the Buckeye. Well, it's that time to get things settled. Puck is about to drop, and we are underway. As the Blue Jackets win the face-off, we are ready for the puck game, and let's find out who it takes on. Starting goaltenders for the Blue Jackets is Elvis Merzlikins, and the other one for the Wilds is Wallstead. Starting off for the Blue Jackets, we have the Severson. Pass the Marchenko shot. What a save by Gustafsson. And I'll be starting goaltender for the Wilds. For the start of it, we have a lot of things going to talk about this one here. As for the Columbus Blue Jackets, we noticed in the last play of the game was really not the better way to be starting off. But as for the Blue Jackets, they're trying to make sure that this one was a harder to keep.
Yeah, exactly. It is true. Nobody really has said it before, but really what they are trying to commence it was not a sting to have that one with the force of its own effort. Playoff of this goal wasn't really easy. simple it takes. What happened with the Blue Jackets? It wasn't able to get back into the postseason. They tried to do this, but there is no commencement of how they're going to keep battling it out, and maybe why that could be a mark. When we were watching this on, it might be harder to make that one go with the spill. It could be a good chance, but for now, we'll have to watch on this one for the Wilds if they can try to keep answering it.
New line group change here as Rowinski's right to her in the wing. And now it's the Columbus Blue Jackets right around the wing. Here's another chance here for Hartman as Minnesota's on the attack the other way. Provorov now finding to get into Matejchuk. Matejchuk right away, finding Monahan. For the shot, saved up on the play by Gustafsson. Monahan now finds it to Provorov, and he now finds it over to Jenner. Jenner looks over it again to Monahan. A shot, hit off the teammate, and then now again to Monahan, again to Provorov.
Well, that's not going to start off, and that really makes it hurt. And despite to say, we need to try to move out.
After Ken Johnson, here's over to Matejchuk. Matejchuk finding Jenner. Here's Provorov on a shot, off in the blocker. Johnson with a rebound, whip around the shot, stopped by Gustafsson. Here's Hartman, and now here comes Kaprizov. The wheels on a fast break change. Pass open look, huge shot, goes with the blocker down, 2 down. As with the two big blocks by Johnson and the other.
Yeah, what a great blocking stop boy. Quinn Hughes was really almost going to get this with the first goal. It wasn't a start what they did.
The Wilds go back into play in offense as Eriksson Ek enters the zone. And here comes the Jackets on defense. Here's Eriksson Ek right to her in the wing. And it's given away by Sean Monahan. Here's another one to Sillinger. The pass off to Monahan. He'll send a deep pass to Olivier. Olivier kicks it off. And it's rebounded by Juracek. Here's Jared Spurgeon. Last part of his game, he was definitely injured here from game number 7 against the Anaheim Ducks. And now this will here is to Gabronson. He'll now have it to Olivier. Quick fading motion attacking here as now Coyle's in the Wilds territory. And as Werenski back to Coyle. Tipped and deflected and now gives it back to Juracek. He looks to Tarasenko. That one is swing and a miss. And here one to Werenski the other way. He deeps his zone to Marchenko. Marchenko tries to have it over to Coyle. It's broken up by Eriksson Ek. And here's another one to Tarasenko the other way for the Wilds. Passes off to Foligno. Marchman with the giving over rebounding effort by only 12:35 remaining in the first period.
You see, there was no effort offense. I mean, they were just really keeping it going. That kept them away to make the smackdown.
Marchenko finding over to Severson. Here's a look at Marchenko's shot. Huge save by Gustafsson. And we'll get a timeout here with only 12:05 remaining in the first. Standing on by, we'll now have it over to center ice. This time you give that one a good start off for Matt Zuccarello. Here's a chance for Craig.
Thanks, guys. Able to talk for this about, and one of the hugest on its own. The big one from Matt Zuccarello, he's making a great use of it on the chain. He really makes it a harder use of it on his effort. And as for the Blue Jackets, the Wilds are making that one full playing motions. No offense is giving it down to having some full range for the blankers, but the big one stops that one for the tacklers. That might be a big takeoff, and they're watching this one for Matt Zuccarello, and that was for Kirill Kaprizov, and they're just keeping this right out of the motion. I'm just keeping it a good look in the range for the Wilds, and let's find out how this will change it off for the Wilds as for Matt Zuccarello to hold the defense effort. Back to you, Tyler.
Thanks, Craig. Now finding again to Severson. Here's another chance here as a new change-off here. The pass again to Lundstrom. He has to Marchenko. Swing and misses, and back again to Quinn Hughes.
No, that's just definitely being a miss here. Nothing changes? I don't think that is it.
Werenski the other way for Columbus. Oh my, the big hit. And the blocker is picked out by Merzlikins. That one makes another block. And Severson will have it right around the net. Past the midway mark. Werenski. Here's Voronkov. Voronkov to find a Lundstrom. Lundstrom Pass that to the Maychek. Maychek, backhander, denied by Philip Gustafson. Pass it over to Provorov. Looks to Maychek on the shot, off the stick, rebounded again, saved by Philip Gustafson. Voronkov again over to Maychek. Maychek shot, another blocker again by Gustafson. Wood finding it again to Provorov. Provorov not finding Wood. Wood shoots, he scores! That one is going to give Miles Wood the transfer. First goal for the Jackets.
Well, how about that? Miles Wood is really starting it off. This is where that pass doesn't really give a good look. And this is where that shot goes in deep. Watch what happens with Miles Wood. He gives that one right off, and it just right past by Philip Gustafson. It just really made it with a huge look at the first chain. Watch this for quick reaction. That Miles Wood was going to give that one a longer drive. Now with the Columbus goal, Columbus starts off with the 1-0. 11:42 was the time on attack rate. He got it with the first goal of the night.
Zuccarello the other way. That one is off on a defender. And off over again to Kirill Kaprizov. Churchill. And here's Olivier. Olivier finding over to Sillinger. Columbus back the other way on offense. Olivier the other way now finding to Maychuk. And he's off to Provorov. Provorov the pass over to Maychuk. Here's chance Olivier's shot. Philip Gustafson denies it. Matejchuk again now finding to Olivier. And back to Provorov. Provorov couldn't hold on. And it's rebounded up by Kirill Kaprizov. Minnesota the other way. And a huge stop by Merzakin. Here's Matejchuk. Slipping the feed now finding to Provorov. Goal for deep. And scores! Unbelievable! Provorov's just get that second, and it being extended to 0.
I don't see anything about Ivan Provorov. Watch when this happens. He goes right through deep, and then he just felt like, I don't know how he's done it. And at this point, I thought this save was going to be enough. But look how deep that is. That one was as big as to give that a sweep. And it goes right past the Gustafson. He wasn't ready for that. What happened? That first goal is going to give that one a second goal. 2-0 to score.
And talk about that. And this Gustafson, he messed that one up. Doesn't really think it was going to be a start off of that.
I don't think that will be the right choice, but that really is going to make that one lose the effort.
After a big miss here, here's another one to Yarov, and finally again to Tarasenko. Here's Foligno, another big save by Merzlikins. Zamula hit on a big backing goal, and rebound by the Wilds. Tarasenko shot, given away to Zamula, and battling for the rebound by the Wilds. Here's Yarov, back to Jenna, and here the other way, that goes all the way out across, no icing for Columbus. Middleton will have it to Spurgeon. Here's Marcus Foligno for the Wilds, now fighting again at Tarasenko. Jenner will all the way clear out, and will whistle for icing on Columbus. Once again, we're going back to Craig, and this time we've got Sean Monahan joining us here for our face-off, and he's here for Craig.
Thanks, guys. Talking about for Sean Monahan, he has really making his huge commitment for the team after a transfer from the Canadiens. The biggest way of really making a response about Sean Monahan, he is one of his hugest effort and making it all count. He really has done so much of attempting, and his consideration really done it all. What Sean Monahan did, he really has given a hugest credit to have that lead. This is why Sean Monahan is a better favorite, guys. I'm watching on Sean Monahan, and hopefully this will be the great take of how the Columbus will find Sean Monahan for his next take. We're hoping it to depend on defending. Back to you.
Swing and misses back over to Severson. And he goes with the hit. Smack down away. And he'll go offside for Minnesota. 3:05 remaining in the first period. They'll have it stopped in the range. Still lots of time left to remain in the period. Columbus is on the start with a hugest take on 2-0 lead. Fantilli wins the faceoff, and here's Marchand. Back in Wild's territory. Marchman over the dip pass to Provorov. Finding Nemetchek. Here's another one to Fantilli. Fantilli shoots. Stopped by Gustafsson. 2:34 remaining in the first period. As the Jackets are trying to get that one all shot. 87 over 85 passing effectiveness. That's a decent amount of her range, but they're still holding in control. Fantilli with the back-to-back winning faceoffs. Provorov again to Marchman. Marchman a pass over again to Provorov. Pass now to Marchenko finds a pass to Fantilli, and he has it over again to Marchman. Marchman now has it to Matejchik, and he looks over to Marchman. Marchman a pass, and it was deflected off the skate, and it now again to Kaprizov for the Minnesota Wilds.
This is where they were really wanting to do for it. They wanted to keep making some huge back plays. Really wanted to see when they could get it off. But when they don't see when they're going to give this one a turn off, you just need some focus.
After Merzlikins with the save, they're off for an air puck drop under 90 seconds. And a win for the Wilds. Shot, blocker, saved by Merzlikins. Puck clears out, rebound by Brock Faber. Nearing the final 60 seconds of the period. Big save by Merzlikins. Kaprizov shot, off the stick, rebound by Provorov. And here's Olivia. The deep zone by Coyle. 2-on-2. And pass is broken by Sillinger. Crowd hearing that reaction, he almost had that goal.
I don't think that was a part of a goal. I thought that was going to stay out of the net, but that was really close.
Olivier back to Severson, now finding to Werenski. And here's Olivier. Shoots deep, and back to Boldy to end the first period. Therefore, it is a 2-0 lead. Columbus up by 2, and there was a lot of great chance. Provorov couldn't believe it with the deep range of the goal. We'll get right to the second period when we return to Columbus.
Hey folks, welcome to the first intermission on EA Sports. Terry Crews just watching some action trackers here, and I will send it over the other way to see what's going on. What do you have with us here, Terry?
Well, the most thing is accountable, and this position happens to be only the action tracking made. Here's the other ones. Because of what happens with every summary on the shot range, this goal wasn't pretty easy enough. What happens with the head coach, this is where it gets things overall. Got a good strong communication here, but as for the Wilds, they need to try to hustle this off. I know this is not the first period for them, but let's see how they can handle it.
Alright, thank you so much, there, Terry. And with after the first period, here's how I did it. 17 over 8 for the total shots on goal for Columbus over Minnesota. And it was 12 over 9 for the Hits here for Minnesota with 557 over 110 Columbus attack. 88 over 86. It's pretty a little decent square for Minnesota, trying to keep the edge of it, and only 6 face-off wins over 3 face-off wins for Columbus Blue Jackets. Now let's go over to you, Son of Beats, for Columbus. Well, really need to be looking at it is the Bear Star, and I'm watching on Columbus. That's where that first goal really meets it up. The biting of the dust really made that one with the start off with the 2-0 lead. And as for Merzlikins, he just had that hugest save without Graves tonight. And without that, that happens with only the one that might have been taking some a little bit of a hardest reception that they really are doing it for. They just really could not get that answer straight away. And as for Columbus, they really just keep staying going. They try to upset the crowd and then try to go with the win to keep it out. Columbus is really doing all the job. Let's see how they can answer it. Some big offensive attacks. Now over to you, Roy, for Minnesota Wilds. They've got to start waking up. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but they've really got to start waking up. This offense really is not playing straight. But as for Columbus, they really are keeping it out of the way. They cannot lose this energy until they have some strong recurrence to keep things from backing up. Now we'll have to see about that in the second period if they can start making it to do this again. With the first intermission down, we go back to the second period to start at Nationwide Arena. in the Buckeye State. Back to Tyler. We'll see you later for the second intermission after the second period.
We are back at the Buckeye State. We're ready for the second period as we're back with us at the Nationwide Arena. And here we go. The second period is about to begin. Glad you have us back. And if you're just joining us, first period has come to a finish with a 2-0 lead. Alright, I'll be sitting over beside Walkie for tonight. As for now, Blue Jackets are starting with a 2-0 lead into the range. How do you feel about that?
Well, what a start. I mean, this is where I was been watching this for the Blue Jackets the whole entire time. And what this really happens with, only just one that had 2 goals. That might have just only taken for a little bit of a while. I was been seeing on Mason Marchman to find out what his next part of the goal. He's really up to a challenge. He's got to show what he can definitely do for him.
Here's Kirill Kaprizov for the Wilds. This time they'll be into the Columbus territory. And a big save comes up made by Merzlikins as he'll dive the play to stop that inbounding for 18-13 remaining at the start of the second period. Since you see the status of this, only 17 of their 9 shots on goal. But now this time, they're trying to watch out. The bigger deal might come in if they just keep moving it.
Well, indeed, they're going to need to try to watch out with that. They got to start seeing this with a quick open look.
John Monahan, he just did not get the right cut as he's double man behind. And here comes Quinn Hughes, chance of a cut play, and he's stopped by Merzlikins on a diving effort to lay down on the flat to cover the puck up.
Wow, what did you say? That just flips it down? Merzlikins is really like watching it. He just really wants to take the cover and dive right away without the turnover to have the first goal.
Deep zone to Johnson. And here's a set to Jenner, and for the pass is broken up. As here's Brock Faber again, now binding over to Tarasenko. You're off right over the way, and it's rebounded by Foligno. Now shot, quick release, snap, stop made by Merzlikins. 16:48 remaining in the second period, as they'll be able to grab another puck drop. I'm telling you about this one for Quinn Hughes. He has really been like snapping it. With one of the quickest moves, he just didn't really think he would be able to get it up that range. But he's got to watch things carefully. Sometimes he doesn't want to waste a lot of timing effort to have some shots on goal.
Yeah, I mean, indeed what happens with Yakov Trenin and talking about Quinn Hughes, he was really sniping it up. The biggest wasn't really taking it up really well, but he made it all look perfect. With Charlie Coyle, he just needed to make sure he's really up to the challenge. No facing the facts, it just may not be the easy way for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They really have to start working it up. Otherwise, they won't be able to get the right timing down unless this happens. This may have been just a hurtful way, but they're really going to try to keep doing it.
The rebound is now picked up for the Wilds. And now Yakov Trenin will have it again. The middle is broken up by Gabronson. Gabronson to Coyle. Shot chance doesn't go through, and it's now back to Quinn Hughes again to Yakov Trenin. Here's Hughes, shoot save made by Merzlikins. On a shot, stop it again by Merzlikins. Zamula with the puck, and now the Columbus Blue Jackets will have it. No penalty on the Wilds. Now the other way will now find it over to Cody Sillinger. He'll have a deep zone to Marchenko. Marchenko's going to get a new line group change. Doesn't want to get the bank pass around. And now here's Matthew Baldy. Baldy finding Hartman. Here's now money to Trenin. Tires a shot. Never saved made by Merzlikins. Fantilli the other way. Just couldn't hang on. And it will be knocked down. No penalty still on the Wilds. As now Mason Marchman will have it.
Oh, come on, man. That almost going to be another penalty. That would have just knocked it through. He just didn't see where it was going.
Marchman blocks a shot. Rebounded by Johnson. And here comes the break for the Jackets. Knocked him over. Rebounded by Johnson. Now as the Columbus Blue Jackets are in the Wild territory, here's another one for Johnson. Johnson passes Jenner. Jenner. He shot, it's blocked, rebounded up by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Werenski off to Monahan. He just can't get over it, and it's now back to Shredded again to Eriksson Ek. Eriksson Ek on the fast break and chain, saved by Merzlikins. 12:14 remaining in the second period. Still 2-0.
I got a feeling with that. Merzlikins is really making a huge unsave. Watch what happens. He just makes a diving to stop that play inbounding. And what happens when you guys see with the odd man rushing and coming? That goes with the rush, and Merzlikins got a great save. That's really a one-time down.
Merzlikins and Gustafsson are really just a higher match make, but it seemed like that Merzlikins really may have had a higher range of the save. He just might have to pull it off with the big reach.
This inbound may not be my favorite. And I'm going to say that the Merzlikins made a huge save. This is one of my favorites. They had a huge stoppage.
Here's to Jenner. Jenner right to her in the wing. A pass over to Provorov. Kicks that off. Jenner. Deep to Maciejek. Shots denied by Gustafsson. 11:19 remaining in the second period. Still giving a little bit of a quick draw here, but now it's still a 2-0 lead in the second period. Lundestrom wins the faceoff, has it to Severson. Here's another chance over to Wood. Wood. Chance over to Werenski. He finds a pass to Severson. Looks back into Werenski, over to Voronikov. Jackets moving around quickly. Voronikov shot saved by Philip Gustafsson. Lundestrom gets it back to Werenski, now finding it over to Severson. Severson with no chance. And now is the Wilds. It's back to Marcus Foligno. Dumps in the zone and rebounded by Werenski. He kicks that puck right to Wood. Miles Wood with a deep zone again to Voronikov. He wants to have it to Fantilli. Fantilli. He shoots for another save by Philip Gustafsson. Here's Yurov. Now as the Wilds are on their rush. Marchenko given away. Unstoppable driving. Now fighting the Marchman. Here's Marchman. Shoots. Round the back. Saved by Philip Gustafsson. One-time chance. Provorov shot. Huge stoppage from the own end. And now it's Matejchuk. Provorov. Back to Matejchuk. He shoots one again and blocked by Gustafsson. And back to Jake Middleton.
He's really been like watching this. Check how strong he's been doing it. He just couldn't keep lining it up. He just really could just keep saving his puck inbound. That almost been like almost gonna miss it.
Here's Adam Fantilli. In middle, Marchman. And that one blocked up by the defender, and he will send the pass again. And Sartman will send around the net. Columbus on the range. And now again to Provorov. Here's Provorov, the pass again to Olivier. Olivier. You change Coyle. Gudbranson. And it's over to Quinn Hughes. Bumps him with the hit. Nico Sturm now has it again to Jared Spurgeon. And Astra given away. And that one takes over by Charlie Coyle. Banks it around the pass. And now here's Zuccarello to give to Quinn Hughes again to Sturm. Sturm rolls to Hinostra. Hinostroza, glove saved by Merzlikins. Just past 6:30 remaining in the second period as both teams will try to hold things up for another puck drop right. Still looking for a big effort out there as Merzlikins' team is up by 2. With the winning faceoff, here's a shot and stopped by Merzlikins. Brunson. Pass over to Johnson. Johnson gets away from Quinn Hughes. And with another change in bounding, Johnson goes right back to Brunson. Here's another one to Zamulov. Johnson. That one just gets right by the back. And now the rebound will be picked up on Columbus. Here's Severson. And Werenski shoots, saved by Philip Gustafsson. Brock Faber with the rebound over for the Wilds as Minnesota gives it to Eriksson Ek. Eriksson Ek shots. It's stopped again by the goaltender. Johnson going the other way into Minnesota territory. Here's another chance. The change off for Severson and the puck kicks out of the zone. just past the 5-minute mark in the mid-period. And we're talking for this now about Lundstrom, the Johnson. They've done that one thing again. There's another one here that's pretty like a harder way to get through this. And one thing I must talk about now is Merzlikins is saving his day on his lifetime.
I know what he's going to say. I mean, Merzlikins is really doing it. He's just believing it. I mean, you just have no idea how that really would like to settle the pace. And Merzlikins is really like kick off the save just for one reason. You would really have it all with a huge change-off and just keep moving. That's why I was just really looking it off by Merzlikins. His huge save comes for the big impact.
Here's Matejchuk. Baranski's shot. He goes off the glove and rebounded by Joracek. Matt Zuccarello in the Columbus territory. Hartman. He shoots one off the skater again by Lundstrom on the block. And now to Matejchuk. He looks over. Here's Miles Wood on the fast break. Odd man rush. Save again by Gustafsson. Marchman. Fantilli. He does not get through as Zuccarello will have it back. And Joracek in the Columbus territory. He will dump it around the net. And Provorov will now have it to Mason Marchman. He'll have it over to again to Matejchuk. He'll have it swing it to Provorov. And again to Fantilli. Now back given away here as Hartman will have it. And Joracek. It's given off by Columbus. And on a no contest is Fantilli. Now Minnesota will take this over. And it's passed over to Hartman. Hartman. Mason Marchman on him. Oh, he's given away with this. Stopped by Philip Gustafsson. 1 minute remaining in the second period.
He just really could not handle it off. Mason Marchman would almost make that goal. He would have been on fire.
Now Werenski. He went with the bang. And back to Joracek for the Wilds. Yakov Trenin watching for offside. Kaprizov. Back to Fantilli. He looks to Olivier. Olivier. Racing in. Backhand. Rebound. And went off the net. And Stern. Olivier, one chance for the shot. Goes down. And that will end the second period. So that dips it out. It is a 2-0 still. It was a lot of big, huge, relentless battle between Yakov Trenin and Sean Monahan. Third period is coming underway when we return in Columbus. Be back soon.
Hello everyone, it is the second intermission of the NHL on EA Sports. With the second period down, it was a tightness, but nothing is considered for Minnesota to have their pace on the board. Here's how they did with the total statistics after the second period. 27-22 was the Columbus Blue Jackets over Minnesota. 27-14 for Minnesota on the hit. 11-32 over 208 for Minnesota. As for the Columbus, they're trying to work this off. 90-85 for the passing effectiveness for Minnesota, and 10-8 face-off wins for Columbus Blue Jackets. I will now send it over to his son of peace for the Minnesota Wilds. They've been aggressively knocking down with the bear hunt. How did that really happen with that? Well, take a look at what happens with the Wilds. You notice what they all did? They always just bunch and punch, and they just rumbled right toward the range, right on the center ice, into the wing, or in the middle. I have no idea how they're stopping. Well, because at this point, when you're seeing for Wilds, they just really kept on hitting. And this is not what they are supposed to do. They cannot lose their energy. The Stratford, the better, and they need to do some pickoff plays to keep things from moving. That is why they need to really keep making like huge change-offs, and they just need to start working it off. Can't lose the effort in the range to get with the goal. Now to you, Roy, for Columbus Blue Jackets. Well, the only thing that really makes a save of it was only Merzlikins, who had this huge beauty saves, and he has really been playing off of the goaltender over by Graves, and his record was really given it a nice long stride. I love this energy, and he's really been keeping it up. The Merzlikins has really given it a great chance.
and he's really on the stop. This is why the Mercilkins really is making some training to do and try to get on to the next rhythm. He's really like on his roll. Patient might start, but I think the third period might be his if he wins. Well, let's hope that this keeps in for Mercilkins, and with that, the third period is ready to start as we end the second intermission. Now let's go back to Columbus as Tyler, along with Sidewalkie and Center Ice Craig, will be joining us here nearing the end of regulation before the end of the game. We'll see you all later for the post-game show after the third period. Now let's see what goes on. This is the moment where you've been waiting for the final period, as we are ready for the finishing and buckets drop, and we're ready for the third. It has been one of the hardest work in the teaming. It is nothing to recruit, but this one may come down to the third period. Let's find out how this goes. As we go over to you, Skywalkie, who had the best play of the game?
Well, I'm saying now, is Mercilkins is really giving a great of a save, and he's just really having some hugest comeback and saving on his effort without grace. Just what happens with Mercilkins, he really is making a hugest impact to save it on his effort. There's no stopping, there's no quitting, and you give Mercilkins with all the extra love. That's respect for showing things off. And importantly for the third period, might be the one big favor, as the Mercilkins might finish it all to win it. And could be the only team to munch it all and all in for one. You just really got to enjoy yourself. And what to tell now? Nothing stands the truth. You have to believe it from the captain, as alternative, and coaches. And now the goaltender will have to make his way to have his appearance if he earns his 3 stars in the game. Yep, we'll find out how that what happens after the game is finished. Here's Fantilli the other way, now finding to Wierenski. Here's Everson. Shoots it, and that goes wide as he goes down, and Marchenko helps him up with Severson. Severson finding Marchenko. Shoots it, and he scores! Marchenko, he delivered it again. And now they extend it 3-0. They've done it again. Marchenko just did right from blue line and slapped it and scores. Can you believe how Marchenko is? When this fire rains the canyon, that goes 93. It's under 90 miles, 95 miles per hour. I thought that was way wicked on the shot. Yeah, I thought he was really moving it so well. I mean, clearly, it did not work for him. That's really going to almost cause the interference. And now, the Wilds player, he gets baited up, and that doesn't really help him to try to move out of the way. He doesn't have a nice save to be there. So therefore, it just comes to be a 3-0 lead for Columbus Blue Jackets. 8:05 remaining in the third. You really need to know this about Marchenko. That really is a hugest pickup action, though. No matter what it is, that really gives all what the Columbus Blue Jackets really made it feel. It's proud, supportive, and courage.
Here's Generosity every way now for the Jackets. You'll have that out of the zone. Favor again to Eriksson Ek. You'll have it again to Boldy. Matthew Boldy shots blocked by Severson. In corner now, Wierenski. He just misses it on the hit. And now finding Johnson the other way. And that broken by here by Brock Faber. Minnesota getting a group here as Matthew Boldy in the wing. And he'll have the cut. Monahan takes it back. Now finding again to Johnson. Over to Monahan. This one is given back by Urov. And now it's good the other way. You'll kick it. Back in zone. Matejchuk. Wierenski. Off a bounce pass. Off the wall to Olivia. And this will regroup the position here as Provorov will now decide to regroup its change. Now this banks around the pass. Charlie Coyle kicks off again to Sillinger. Here's Matejchuk. Matejchuk whips him out, and that will leave an offside as now The Wilds gets back to Yakov Trenin. Quinn Hughes to Yurov. Shots off the skater. Rebound by Provorov.
They're losing this oftenly. The whole entire time, don't really think it was necessary. But this really makes it hurt. That is going to definitely make that one spiral around and don't care anymore.
Matejchuk now has it to Coyle. Under 15 minutes remaining in the third period. Olivier shoots Steve. Another save by Gustafsson. And he's still trying to fight in. And the save of backup goaltender will be Wallstad. He'll be joining us here if he just misses again. And there won't be enough anymore. Yurov with the first goal, and now the Wilds are taking the strike on the board.
Well, this most likely happens with only Yurov, and that first goal only has this pass and just the goal to keep that deep. Just look at this. Yurov makes that one a deep lob, and just like happens with the first period, he definitely didn't have it all the choice. He went for a deep and passed by Merzlikins, and there's the goal that we need.
So they are on the board. It is a 3-1 lead. Columbus Blue Jackets cuts the lead down by 2. And here's Jared Spurgeon again to Zuccarello. Zuccarello pass. Good up by Gudbranson. Fantilli again to Zamula. Zamula right around the net. No power play given this time. He makes a smash hit. They still clean for the Wilds, but the fans didn't think there was any penalty that's going to make them a holding.
Well, they don't like this. What they just see really now, I mean, they should have seen what the ref was going to call something bad.
Oh, a big hit. That is right through the wing. And Gudbranson right in the corner, and now this one he's stuck up in trouble.
Didn't think it was going to be, believe it or not? Not really when I mentioned.
Slapped and missed wide. Spurgeon now fighting again to Zuccarello. Here's Middleton. Middleton right to it off to Hartman. Hartman shot, kick pass saved out by Merzlikins. Unstoppable goes with the rebound by Marchenko. And here's Zamula. He makes that smash down. And Marchenko coming in today to have that rebound. He's over again to Sean Monahan. Monahan pass broken up. Hard to get up. Now back to Matthew Baldy. He'll look over to Hinostroza. Off to Eriksson Ek. And it's broken by Jenner. New line change here for Columbus. Makes a bad call. That goes over again to Faber. And it's broken up by Charlie Coyle. He looks to Olivier. Over the middle, Severson. Behind the pass to Sillinger. Oh, he misfired it, and that one is going to need a little bit of a fix. Back to Sillinger.
Well, this needs some helping clean. The offense may not be the right thing. If you really wanted to try to pass that puck, you need some help. Fixing is the right key to have it.
And another save by Merzlikins.
Yeah, he's really it. He's saving it big. And now he's going to really have to keep on trying.
And the shot's blocked. And Sillinger goes back to the defense. Here's Sarachek under 9 minutes remaining. Goes off the wall with a deflection. Werenski looks it off to Lundestrom. Give it off to Miles Wood. And here's another one for Werenski. Werenski to pass to Lundestrom. He shoots deep. Hey, off the pipe, and it goes up and over the netting out of play.
When you see that believing for Lundestrom, that is going to make that fire slap. That hits that off the crossbar, and it just went right to the netting. I mean, how does Lundstrom think he's going to have the eye ring? He just fires his speed at 94, and then it just hit off the bar, boink, and right to the netting. Man, that's hitting off the crossbar quickly.
Voronkov trying to look for a winning face-off here, and Lundstrom having the winning with the face-off wasn't really easy for him, and he's really having it on.
Just big rebound when you need to do it for him. Don't mess that up if you have it.
Matejchuk shot, another save made by Gustafsson. Tarasenko again to Foligno. As we pass under a little minute, like midway mark in the period, Voronikov, Pachechek, kicks all the way down. And here's Juracek for the Minnesota Wilds. He'll shoot it, and he'll make it around the net. And as Merlikins will have to squeeze it here in the corner. 7:10 remaining in the third period. If you're looking forward for the next game of the night, this next matchup, we have the greatness to take yours right away. The battle of this range, where it comes by, is New York Rangers, and they are facing against the Boston Bruins at TD Garden Arena. It's another big showdown, and you may recall this from 2013's epic battle after Thanksgiving. It was nothing that they did for.
Yep, you have to watch on this because I think this game is going to be exciting.
Now here's Provorov. Oh, he just hit off the banging on the wall. And here comes Yurov with 6 minutes remaining in the third. Look for Tarasenko shot. Huge blocker saved again by Merzlikins. Yurov. Spurgeon. Slips his shot. Glove saved by Merzlikins. Sean Monahan the other way again. The Jenner, and he been lifted up, and that will be an icing on Columbus. 5:27 remaining in the third period as they'll wait its next puck drop to be ready. 30 over 28 shots on goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now they're going to try to work things out a little bit. Sean Monahan wins the faceoff, and he's over to Johnson. Johnson, pass, broken up, rebounded by Middleton. Past the final 5 minutes, presented by Discover. Kaprizov. Oh, Johnson got a piece of it. And it's now to Provorov.
Yep, that's where he does the cut. It looks like he just found it loose. Don't think that is helpful.
As Gustafsson winds that one down, we'll have a stoppage in play, and now they'll be ready to force to have some face-off attack. Fantilli wins the face-off again to Severson. Here's Rowinski. And again to Severson. Shot! Another save by Gustafsson. 4:22 remaining in the third period. They still have to look clearly to give that one with the great goal. Now they're ready to have another puck drop. 3-1's the score. And now the other way will be Minnesota. Marchman. Now it's back to Werenski. Werenski looks to Severson. Again to Werenski. Shoots Steve, cross for deflection, and Gustafsson will stop that in play. Under 4 minutes remaining in the third period, and he's really been whooping it up.
He did. I mean, he almost done it again. This would almost been another great deflection.
Fantilli with another face-off win. Here's Severson. Werenski, he shoots almost and out. Marchman with the rebound, and now Jared Spurgeon over the other way to Kaprizov. Kaprizov, nowhere to be finding it. Werenski spins across, spins it off to Marchenko. Looks over in the middle, and it's broken up by Spurgeon. Long range down, that's too far. That will turn over to Columbus Blue Jackets. Now a deep zone to Marchenko. Stinging it up here. Marchenko to Marchman. Marchman has no sure to give that a goal. Samuela. Gabranson. Off to Marchenko. Backhander is plus. Saved by Gustafsson. 2:08 remaining in the third period, and they're now ready to kick off another puck drop. Now it's time to send it over to Craig, who had the best play of the night.
Well, thank you, folks. I was able to watch this, and this is all what I'm watching on. It's Marchenko. He's really been like a highest on mark. The ability is a strength, and he has really been like enjoying it. Most pressure confidence are really just the right way to determine. When no play stands out, it makes it the goaltender to enjoy this moment in a lifetime. And as for that, it only takes for Marchenko to have that with a great goal. He's really like into the heavy pursuit, but his next time will be his own pressure. Stopped by Merzlikins with only 1:06 remaining in the third period.
And we're nearing down to a final minute in the third. 3-1 score, Columbus. The win for the Wild. Blocked by Fantilli. And Marchenko will clear it out. And icing on Columbus. Just under a minute remaining in the third period. They're about to rise in at the Columbus, Ohio Nationwide Arena is full of pack to have that for appreciation. What a save, but this time Tarasenko scores. He just have it all, but the fans really felt that the game was over, but now at that time, the Wilds think it's not.
Well, just look at this. Tarasenko just looked it up, and he just watches the target. Watch what happens with Tarasenko. You see this? This goes with the shooting range, and this quick release is bent over right on the goaltender, and now this one lifted up, and now it's another goal for the Wilds. You can't mess it up here on Tarasenko if you really wanted to win. You cannot make that one a deal.
Columbus back down by 1. Wilds are looking to win the game and try to tie it, and here they go again. Gretzky has it across. This time to Severson. Broken up. Gohan. Trying to get to Severson. And it's now to Werenski. Werenski! Coming back the other way. Jonathan Beckhander is led by Gustafsson. And now this is the final push for Minnesota. Knocked him over. Here's Yurov. Goaltender to the bench again. Deep set. In the zone. And Johnson will not have the timing to do it. And Yurov pulled it. Tarasenko. One last chance. Blocked. And it's over. A comeback run comes short for Minnesota as Columbus wins.
That's where you want to end. Hurricanes. Good night on the top. To the all-Sealand fans and the Stinger, it's a big win to make that one go with the hugest life moment ever. The Stingers sting out the Wilds.
And that about wraps it up here, fellas. Along with my broadcast partner, along with Greg and my sideline partner with Sidewalker, I'm Tyler Beast. Thanks for watching the Columbus Hockey on NHL on EA Sports. We'll see you next time for another big matchup. Take home easily and get on the road safely. So long.
Thanks, Tyler. With the unfortunate comeback short,
It goes to Columbus Blue Jackets as we approach the 3-star players of the game. Romanov with only a goal and assist. He just only did that with the send-up pass and his score. Then it was Yurov, and then the other way turned to be Minnesota with a 3-1 score. Then the second star player of the game goes off to Ivan Provorov. 1 goal, 1 assist, and 2 hits. He just did that clean, but nowhere stops it from Provorov as he shoots deep and beats over by the goaltender. Never seen that. And your first star player of the game goes to Elvis Merzlikins. 31 saves and only does that for the once. Your final statistics scores are as follows. 36 over 33 shots on goal for Columbus over Minnesota. 43 hits over 18 for Minnesota. Then it was 15-17 over 322 time on attack for Columbus Blue Jackets. 87 over 81 passing effectiveness for Minnesota and 17 over 15 faceoff wins for Minnesota. That only explains it. They have to get this one down and get a right feeling.
Well, that is it for now, and with that being said, we'll see you back for another game of the night as the Bruins at home face against the New York Rangers since Season 1, as we recalled it, for 4 seasons ago. It just may be the one to get things from across, but no matter what you do, don't mess with the Bruins of Boston. And about to wrap things up, let's go ahead and call that one for a night, dear son. Indeed so. Along with me and my broadcast partner, along with Roy Cruz, I'm Son of Beast, and hope you enjoyed this another Game of the Night matchups of NHL 26.
So long, everyone, for us a while as the NHL 26 gameplay on EA Sports Style. This is Roy
And Son of Beast again, thank you for watching.
Good night at the Buckeye State of Ohio.
If you don't, somebody will. Gonna make it up.